When I first started learning Python, I spent way more time reading about learning Python than actually writing any code. And there's so much content out there telling you to learn this library, take that course, build these projects, and it's genuinely hard to know what order any of it goes in. So in this video, I want to give you the roadmap I wish someone had handed me, what to learn in what order, and how to actually make it stick. Here's the thing, Python is genuinely a non-negotiable if you want to work in data science still today in 2026. About 85% of data scientists are using Python as of today, and there are over 1.19 million job postings on LinkedIn right now requiring Python skills. So the question isn't really whether to learn it, it's how to learn it without completely losing your mind. And that includes a question I get asked a lot lately. Should I just use tools like Cursor or Cloud Code to learn Python? Can AI shortcut the whole process? I'm going to give you the real answer on that throughout this video because it's not a simple yes or no, and I'll show you exactly where AI actually accelerates your learning versus where it undermines it. First and foremost, let's understand what Python actually looks like on the job. As a data scientist, you're not writing Python from scratch to build applications. You're using Python as a backbone for working with data. On a given day, that might look like pulling a dataset from a database, running some cleaning and transformation logic, building a quick visualization to share with your team, or training a machine learning model. Python is the thread running through all of it. What makes Python so dominant in this space comes down to three things. First, the syntax is genuinely approachable. Python syntax is often praised for being readable and concise. It looks closer to plain English than most programming languages. Second, the ecosystem. Python has a rich, mature set of libraries built specifically for data work, and I'll walk you through the core ones in a minute. And third, community. If you get stuck on something, someone on Stack Overflow has been stuck on that exact same thing before you. And I feel so old saying this because nobody uses Stack Overflow anymore, but that was what I relied on when I learned Python. Python recently overtook JavaScript as the most used language on GitHub, driven by rising demand in AI, data science, and backend development. It means the tooling keeps improving, the job postings is growing, and the learning resources keeps getting better. At the end of the day, Python is not a language that is going anywhere. We're not going to overwhelm you by listing 30 libraries to learn. We're not doing that. I'm going to give you the core stack in the order I would actually learn it. And for each one, I'll tell you exactly how AI can help you practice it more effectively. Layer 1 is NumPy. This is your foundation. NumPy is where data science with Python begins. It introduces arrays that are faster and more memory efficient than standard Python lists. A lot of the other libraries you use like Pandas, Scikit-learn are actually built on top of NumPy under the hood. You don't need to go deeper here right away, but getting comfortable with arrays and basic numerical operations sets you up for everything that comes after. When you're learning array operations and something isn't working the way you expected, you can paste your code into Claude or ChatGPT and ask, why does this return X instead of Y? The second layer is Pandas. This is your day-to-day workhorse. Pandas is primarily used for data analysis, manipulation, and cleaning. It allows for simple data modeling and analysis operations without needing to write a lot of code. Think of a Pandas data frame like a really powerful spreadsheet you can manipulate with code, filtering rows, handling missing values, merging datasets, aggregating by group. If you're working with structured data, you are living in Pandas. This is probably the library I personally use the most often. Pandas is one of the best places to use AI as a rubber duck. This is what I mean. Download a free open dataset from Kaggle and just start trying to clean it. When you hit an error you can't figure out, describe the problem to an AI in plain English before you paste your code. Forcing yourself to articulate what you're trying to do and what went wrong is half the debugging process. Let AI confirm or redirect and then go back and write to fix yourself. Before we move on to the visualization and machine learning packages, I want to stress the importance of structured learning. When you're first starting out, the high volume of information can be really overwhelming, and that's why structured learning paths are so valuable. They give you a clear direction and help you focus on what matters. My favorite platform for this is DataCamp. I've partnered with them for this portion of the video because they have 2 tracks that map almost exactly what I just described. For those of you that are beginners, I recommend their Python Data Fundamentals track. It teaches you all the Python basics for data science. It breaks the learning journey into manageable interactive steps, starting from zero and gradually moving into more advanced topics like data manipulation and visualization. What I really like is that you're not just passively watching, and you're coding and solving problems from day one, getting feedback and learning by doing right in your browser. It kind of feels like you're playing a game, which makes it a lot more enjoyable. Then if you want to move on and get job ready, as a data scientist, their career track, Associate Data Scientist in Python, brings your Python skill to the next level. You learn more advanced data manipulation and visualization skills, statistics, hypothesis testing, supervised and unsupervised learning, and machine learning. If you want a hands-on and structured learning resource to learn all Python skills to succeed in data science in one place, check out the data camp links below. Okay, layer 3 we're talking about is Matplotlib and Seaborn. Once you can wrangle your data, you need to communicate what you found. Matplotlib provides a foundation for static, animated, and interactive visualizations, while Seaborn builds on top of Matplotlib and offers better visualizations for statistical analysis, and it's really pretty. I would start with Matplotlib for the fundamentals, then layer in Seaborn when you want cleaner, more aesthetically polishing outputs with less code. This is actually one of the best use cases for AI as a learner. Once you've built a chart yourself, ask AI, what's a better way to visualize this relationship? Or how would I make this chart more readable for a non-technical audience? Use it to expand your design instincts. Layer 4 is Scikit-learn. This is where machine learning comes in. Scikit-learn is the most popular data analytics library for machine learning. It simplifies model building, evaluation, and deployment. The beautiful thing about Scikit-learn is that it abstracts away a lot of the math-heavy implementation, so you can focus on understanding what the model is doing and how to evaluate it properly. Regression, classification, clustering, cross-validation, it's all there with a very consistent API. AI is also really excellent for conceptual explanation at this stage. Ask it things like explain cross-validation, like I'm someone who just learned what a for loop is, or what's the difference between precision and recall, and when does each one matter more. Use it as an infinitely patient tutor for concepts while you do the actual coding yourself. In terms of which one to learn first, I would start with the basics, NumPy and Pandas for data manipulation, and Matplot and Seaborn for visualization. These cover a large portion of beginner use cases. As you progress into machine learning, you can pick up Scikit-learn and then move to deep learning with TensorFlow or PyTorch as needed. Now let's talk about how to actually use AI to learn Python. From both my personal experience teaching and hearing about people's stories, there's a common trap you can fall into that can be deceived as progress. So when AI spews out a piece of code, how many times do you actually take a step back and wonder what's actually going on? If you don't make time to think, you're essentially having AI think for you. And you might think you're moving quicker, but in reality, you're skipping the most valuable component, which is the knowledge absorption part. I've seen this pattern a lot. Someone uses AI to write their Pandas cleaning code, and it works. They move on. 2 weeks later, they're completely stuck because they can't modify anything or debug anything because they never actually understood what they built. The more of a beginner you are, the less you should use AI to generate code for you. Skipping the basics makes harder concepts more difficult, and you accept more bad suggestions because your code reading skills haven't developed yet. So here's the framework I would actually use. In the early weeks, when you're learning syntax and fundamentals, try the problem yourself first, even if your attempt is completely wrong. Then bring your broken code into AI and ask, what's wrong with my logic here, rather than write this for me. Think of AI as a mentor. If you had a senior developer sitting next to you, you wouldn't ask for help on every tiny issue. You would try it first and then ask. The next phase is you want to use AI for explanation, not generation. The core principle is simple. Ask questions, don't copy code. AI should explain, not replace your thinking. And your prompts should start with explain, why, how, or what happens if. And critically, before you use any code an AI gives you, make sure you can walk through it line by line and explain what each part does. If you can't do that, delete and ask for an explanation instead. This is the Feynman test for code. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough to use it. And once you have a working project, this is where AI becomes genuinely powerful for learners. Paste your code and ask, how would you refactor this to be cleaner? Or are there any edge cases I'm not handling? Or what would a senior data scientist do differently here? When working on a project, use AI to suggest refactorings and identify areas that could be improved. The feedback you get is incredibly useful, especially for beginners. In the past, you would have to wait for a more experienced colleague to provide that kind of insight. AI now can make you faster at things you already understand, and it makes you worse at things you don't yet understand, unless you're deliberately using it to learn rather than to skip. At the end of the day, the goal is to use it like a brilliant, always available tutor who explains things patiently, rather than a ghostwriter who does your homework for you. The data scientists who will be most valuable in 5 years are the ones who both understand the fundamentals and know how to work effectively alongside alongside AI tools. There is no way around that. You want to be both. Learning Python generally takes 1 to 3 months for basics and 4 to 12 months for advanced topics with consistent daily practice. For data science specifically, it typically takes 6 to 9 months with consistent practice when you factor in not just the language, but the libraries and getting comfortable applying them to real-world problems. Using AI thoughtfully can compress parts of this timeline, particularly the "I'm stuck and I have no one to ask" moments that used to burn whole afternoons, for me, on Stack Overflow. But it won't compress that part where your brain needs to build genuine intuition through repetition and problem solving. That part still takes time, and honestly, it should. What actually makes the biggest difference is consistency and what you're doing with your practice hours. So if I were to start from scratch today, here's exactly how I would structure it. In phase 1, you should learn Python fundamentals such as variables, data types, conditions, loops, functions, and basic data structures. This is also where you set up your environment, get comfortable in a Jupyter notebook, and start writing small scripts that actually run. The AI role here is explanation only. When you hit an error, describe it in plain English to an AI tutor before pasting code. In the second phase, you will learn how to use NumPy and Pandas for data manipulation. Load real datasets, use Kaggle, clean messy data, explore it, and answer questions with it. The more you can tie this to data that actually interests you, the more it sticks. You can use AI here for debugging. Try it yourself first, and then bring your broken attempt to AI and ask what's wrong. The third phase is data visualization skills. Learn Matplotlib first, then Seaborn. Practice building charts that tell a story, not just charts that display numbers. And use AI here for design feedback. Build the chart yourself, then ask AI how to make it more readable or what a better chart type might be. And finally, learn machine learning with Scikit-learn. Linear regression, logistics regression, decision trees, model evaluation. Focus more on understanding what the model is doing and when to use it than on getting the best possible accuracy score. You need to understand how to evaluate a model properly with cross-validation techniques, metrics, and avoiding data leakage. Use AI as conceptual tutor and code reviewer. Ask it to explain concepts, then review your finished code for improvements. The most important thing across all of these phases is to build projects with real data and real questions. That's what you'll talk about in interviews. Python is a foundation, and once you have it, everything else in data science becomes more accessible. SQL, machine learning, APIs, dashboards, even getting into LLM engineering, which I have a whole video on. If this roadmap was helpful, hit the like button. It genuinely helps get the content in front of more people who are trying to figure out the same things. And let me know in the comments, where are you right now in your Python journey? Are you just starting, learning new packages, or are you at that stage where you're using AI and wondering if you're using it right? I personally read every single comment, and if you're interested in learning more content like this, I also share short form videos on my Instagram channel where I do regular Q&As to answer your data science questions. I'll see you in the next video.